Hi guys, it's time for toddler class. So this week we're going to do a lesson on David and Goliath, which would be 1 Samuel 17. And for our snack, you need, my goodness, my cat really wants it. So you need to pick 5 grapes and a string cheese. And you slice your string cheese into a little slice. Make your sling and have your 5 grapes as your 5 rocks, which we will talk about in this story. I'm going to move this so my cat doesn't eat it real quick. All right, we will jump right into the story. God's people had some scary enemies, but the Philistines were the scariest of them all, and now the Philistines had come to fight them. The Philistines had a secret weapon called Goliath. Goliath was a terrifying soldier, and worst of all, he was a giant. Means he was really, really tall. A giant so strong and so tall and so scary that no one had ever been able to fight him and live to tell the tale. So there they were, the Philistines, standing on the top of one hill, God's people standing on top of the other. Every day, Goliath came out and shouted, "Send your best soldier to fight me. If he wins, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you will be our slaves." No one spoke. No one moved. "Chickens," Goliath bellowed, "your God can't save you." His beady, greedy eyes glowered at them hungrily from under his horrible helmet, as if any minute he really might just gobble them all up. And he laughed his terrible laugh. Ha, 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 it boomed, echoing horribly around and around the dry, dry valley. There's God's people on one hill, Goliath and the Philistines. Look how tall he is. God's people froze with fear. Their eyes glazed over and they turned deathly pale. They knew if someone didn't do something quick, if someone didn't save them, but God would do something. He would send someone to save them. David was the youngest son of Jesse. His brothers were soldiers in the army. One day when David brought his brothers their lunches, he saw Goliath and he saw how scared everyone was. "Don't be afraid," David said. "I'll fight him for you." "You're only a little shepherd boy," the king said. A shepherd is someone who takes care of sheep out in the field. "And Goliath is a great soldier. How will you fight him?" "God will help me," David said. So the king gave David his royal armor to wear, but it was too heavy and too big, and David couldn't even walk. "I won't need this," David said. Instead, David picked out his 5 smooth stones from the stream. That's your 5 grapes from your snack. He took his slingshot, which is your cheese, and he walked towards Goliath. Step, step, step. There's the king putting on his armor onto David. David picking out the stones from the stream. Goliath walked towards David. Thud, thud, thud. "You?" Goliath peered down at the small boy. "I'm little," David shouted up to him, "but God is great." Goliath laughed, an even terrible laugh than usual. Ha, 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 it went. With just one swing of his giant sword, Goliath could finish the boy off. But David kept going. "It isn't how strong you are, or how many swords and spears you have that will save you. It is God who saves you. This is God's battle, and God always wins his battles." David put a stone in his sling, swung it around, and let it go. The little stone flew whiz like a bullet through the air and struck Goliath, thud, right between the eyes. Goliath stopped laughing. Here's David throwing the stone, and look how tall and scary Goliath is. Goliath stumbled and staggered and crash fell dead. When the Philistines saw Goliath was dead, They ran away, and when God's people saw them running away, they cheered. God had saved his people. David was a hero. Many years later, God would send his people another young hero to fight for them and to save them. But this hero would fight the greatest battle the world has ever known. There's Goliath. All right. So who was the big mean guy? Goliath, the giant. And what did everyone do when they saw him? They ran away because he was so scary. But who wasn't afraid of Goliath? David. So we have 2 points for our lesson, and our first point is that David was brave, and so he fought Goliath. But our second point is that God is the one who helped David be brave and helped him defeat Goliath, because God is the hero of every story in the whole Bible. So if you want a memory verse, you can do 1 Samuel 17:45. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." That's 1 Samuel 17:45. And for the craft, all you'll need is a piece of green paper, which you could do any color you want, but green for the grass, and some cotton balls, glue, and you put some glue on your paper and stick your cotton balls on, and then you can draw your legs and your head to make your sheep, because David was a shepherd and he took care of sheep. He wasn't a soldier, but he still fought Goliath. That's your craft, and we don't really have an activity for this one, but if you want to do something else that goes along with this to help your little ones remember it, you can watch the VeggieTales video. It's called Dave and the Giant Pickle. So I'm probably going to do that with my kids, and that helps solidify the story a little bit in their head when they get to see it and hear it and make a craft and do a snack. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week. Bye.